Bonjour à tous, bienvenue dans le podcast Casual Sports. Je suis votre hôte Alek, et comme toujours, c'est Matt Morrison and Mike Wolfgang. Hey guys, how's it going? That is gone apparently. Mike, what's up?
Why would you do that?
Do what?
Why would you come in saying words nobody understands?
There might be people out there that understand it.
But we don't.
French?
I didn't understand. I don't know, but there might be viewers that speak other languages.
Guaranteed right now, you have that translation right up on your computer.
No, I already exited out of the tab.
Oh.
But I nailed the pronunciations on all those. So
yeah, you did. You did it well.
2.5 years of French in high school paid off.
No, it didn't.
I took 2 years, Mike, and I took 2 years of Italian, or 1 year.
I'm on my second year of German.
No.
I couldn't do that in German.
I had 2 years of it in high school and 2 years of it in college. I still can't put a sentence together.
We still can't put a sentence together. I know this. I know. I know. I don't know.
What, use your hands?
Yeah,
hand gestures.
They know. That's all I learned. I know the hand gesture.
That's sad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know how to say swear words, but
of course you do. Yeah, it is not as pretty sounding in German. I was just typing in like I've taken 2 years of German, or not.
I know
2
more
years, 2
German
semesters
words
of it.
than Italian words.
It's very ugly in the German language. German is such a harsh language compared to some of the French stuff.
I only know 9 is no. That's the only one I know.
It's also 9. Like the
It's
number.
9.
It's the same
9.
word.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
It's
9.
just the pronunciation on it that's different a little bit. But no, hello everybody. Welcome to the Casual Sports Podcast. I'm Alek. That's Matt Morrison and Mike Wolfgang, which is what I said the first time round in French. Thought it'd be funny to talk about it that way. But our first day of baseball officially has come and gone. And what a day it was, man. We had a lot of hitting, a lot of scoring for everybody but the Pirates.
Yep.
I knew that was coming in there.
Hey, your team only scored 1 run, too. I don't want to hear it.
They're the only team to get shut out. 9-0. Like, man.
1 run ain't that much better.
No, it really isn't. But, I mean, in a 3-1 ball game, it's better than 9-0.
Well, your guys' game was entertaining. I didn't really see it, but I watched highlights.
It was a really good game. In fact, it was coming down to the late stages of it. I mean, Shane Bieber gave us a good outing off the mound to start. Brian Shaw cleaned up 1 hitter very well. It was great to see. It was really – it kind of felt like it wasn't necessarily their game 1. It felt like a continuation of spring training for Cleveland. It seemed that game 1 – they were just kind of putting things together out there, especially bullpen-wise, I should say, starting off the season. I mean, we had Tristan McKenzie coming as a reliever, and he's going to be one of our starting pitchers in the next series against Cincinnati. So it kind of felt like a feeling out process to start the season with that game. It sucks we couldn't come away with the win, burning most of our good pitchers through it. But at the same time, it was a nice feeling out process. Introducing us to some of the players kind of for the first, second time. And Matt, you were talking about that outfielder in Quan. He's a pretty good hitter.
Got on base every time.
Right. Yeah. He had a phenomenal first outing for that young guy. And from what I saw, I was at BW3s watching a couple innings of the game, listening to Tom Hamilton on the radio. Still the best radio announcer in all of sports. Love him. He's great.
Did he slip up? Did he say Indians and not Guardians?
I'm sure he did.
Al Pulaski brought in the Guardians report saying, "Welcome in, everybody. This is Indians Live," and he's like, "Oh."
I don't remember if it was since I watched like 2 different, because I watched the Bally Sports broadcast on my phone. I listened to Tom Hamilton on the radio driving, and I listened to it at BW3, so I don't think they had the volume on at B-Dubs. Okay. I think it was the TV announcers that at one point slipped up. I don't remember if Tom Hamilton did or not. If he did, I can't remember if it was him or the TV that went something like, and that does it for the Tribe. Nope. The Indians. Wait, nope, still no. The Guardians. That's what they're called this year. And I don't remember if that was Hamilton or one of the TV guys.
Okay. I had a couple weeks ago, I had one of the Cleveland radio stations on, and the guy that like rotates every couple 3 innings with Hamilton on the radio, Rosenhaus. Yeah, he was doing his show during the week, and he was in there was one segment where he didn't say Guardians one time. It was Indians every single time. It's gonna take a while to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, but look where we've come from Washington as well. I mean, immediately after, I mean, we kind of did struggle at first to go from the Redskins to just football team, and now you don't even think twice before saying Washington football team. It's going to take a minute to go now to Commanders, but at the same time, I think it took a year or so, but everyone got into the flow, and now it feels normal to go in and say that. So the one thing I can say about the Guardians' first day, at first, I didn't like the uniforms when they debuted them, but seeing them on the players, I kind of like them. I
like the ones that say Cleveland on it.
Yeah, I like that Cleveland font. I don't mind. Too. At first, I was not sold on the new C logo. I'm like, no, the block C is great. Like but I like this new C now that I've actually seen it on the players. I still hate the Cleveland Guardians baseball logo though. That's still
stupid. I was making fun of it yesterday. I won't say it on the show what I said, but I was making fun of it pretty much. My dad's like, "Ooh, I love that G." I'm like, "Dad,
it's stupid.
It's horrible. It's just horrible. Don't try and make it good. It is not good. It's not."
That's the one part I'm still not sold. I think they need a better logo. I mean, I think it's too late, but I think the logo is really bad. That's the one part. I don't mind the new script. Obviously the uniforms are pretty much the same. They just changed the script on it, and I like what it looked like yesterday in Kansas City. So.
Yeah.
It was definitely a fun first day of baseball, though. I mean, let's go ahead and talk about some of the other games. Brewers and Cubs came down to the final bit. That was 4-5. The Cardinals put on a hitting showcase. They're kind of exactly what this team expected to be, a high hitting squad with some good pitching. And obviously going up against the Pirates can definitely, inflate your numbers to start out the season. No offense, Mike, but that is, kind of the
no offense taken. I know this more than anybody.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate
reality. We're not a good team. I'm not sitting here acting like they're a good team. They're rebuilding. I'm not acting like they're good.
Yeah. Mets, I think, kind of surprised some people, going 5-1 over the Nationals to start out the season. Obviously, 163 games to go. It's going to be a long way through. But I think that first day for the Mets was a very important one to get things started after the utter failure that was last season. They couldn't win on the road. Getting out game one here, winning in Washington, D.C. to start out the season, I think is huge for the momentum of their season.
They couldn't win at all down the stretch, period, last year. I think the last 2 months, they were the worst team in baseball record-wise. So for them to start out yesterday, they had that scary moment. I think Pete Alonso got hit up near the face with a pitch, so that was kind of scary. But no, to win 5-1 against the Nationals, and they're another team that's kind of aiming towards a rebuild. So, it's good for the Mets because they didn't really start out too good last year. They heated up,
especially after they brought in everybody to this roster last year. And after this year, I'm sure they're going to see a couple of free agents in this next year or two that are going to leave New York and go to the other New York team potentially. But getting that game one here, and you might only get 2 or 3 seasons with this loaded super team of the Mets, and they have to start performing this year. And it comes down to winning on the road, winning in big games like they couldn't do last year. How about the Reds taking down Matt's Braves here to start out the season as well? 6-3. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a game. I have huge respect for Joey Votto. I like Joey Votto. He's probably the only one on that team that
but don't look at his TikTok page. It wasn't great.
I know. I saw his TikTok.
He was mic'd up during the game. It was funny. If you guys saw that.
I think I sent you one of those, honestly, with Joey Votto. I don't know. It's not the best. I mean, heck of a team. I mean, they've lost some people. I mean, Nick Castellanos isn't there anymore, but it's a good job to get the season opener against the defending champions. So it's a good note.
Yeah, definitely. And it really kind of wasn't a great day for the Braves. I think this is going to be kind of one of those teams. I mean, I think I held the four hits in the game. I mean, 3 runs came out of it, but 2 of those came late in the ball game against relief pitchers in the first game of the season. Relief pitching early on in the year doesn't always tend to be as great as it is about midpoint of the season. I think is when relievers really take over. When you get down to that middle part of the season, your starters are a little tired from this first half, and you got to let them take over before your starters can kind of recharge and make that final stretch. But you still saw a great performance to start the game by Cincinnati, and I hope this kind of sets the table for what this team could do. On the Braves, though, first game, don't overreact to it. But at the same time, I think it opens up some question marks about their ability to hit for contact. I mean, you're going to see something similar to what everyone's been saying about the Yankees for the last couple of years. Cool, you can hit home runs, but you have to get on base to make that more than a one-run home run, because one-run home runs are fine, but they're not as explosive as 2, 3, or a grand slam. So I think a big key for the Braves this season, after seeing game 1, you got to find ways to get on base. I know they were going up against a good pitcher, and throughout the entire game, pretty much, Cincinnati put together a good rotation this year, it seems, at least to that first game. But the Braves are going to have to find ways to get on base.
Yeah, and Max Free got roughed up a little bit. And I'm looking at this Reds lineup. I know they lost a lot, Matt. They lost Castellanos, and they lost Eugenio Suarez. They lost Jesse Winker. I'm looking at their lineup. They have, a lot of these guys that they've been there the last couple of years. Jonathan India, he was rookie of the year candidate last year in the National League.
Is Dietrich still there?
No, he's not there. I don't think he's been there for a couple of years. But they still have Aquino in right field. He can provide power. They brought in Tommy Pham. He's a guy that's bounced around, and they still have Mike Moustakas. I thought he wasn't even on the team anymore, but he's DH for them. So they have guys, and they plugged in guys like Brandon Drury to fill in spots, third base spot, I think, to fill in Suarez's spot. But no, they had a good night last night, and Tyler Mahle went for them on the mound. He's been a young guy that's been trending upwards the last couple of years. So they got a good opening day start from him too.
Yeah, now it's going to tell what the depth of that bullpen is going to be. You saw Mahle get that first start. Who's the next guy? Can they do this 2 games in a row? Can they put this together? I think that's another big question for some of these teams that finished 3rd, 2nd, and 4th in their respective divisions last year, because there were times, there's a reason you finished 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. You couldn't put games together. You found ways to win 2 or your 3 games in a series here and there, but can you put series together? Can you put those games together? I think that's going to be a big tell of what these teams can be here in the first couple of weeks. If you can see teams, your record doesn't really matter here. Can you put together series, though? Split these 2-1. You don't have to start out 15-0 here in baseball. It's fun too, but it means nothing when you start that way. You only kind of can wear out your team sometimes. It's fine to go 10-5 through these first ones here and kind of sit middle of the pack in your division. But coming away with a series wins is going to be the most important thing to this early part of the season. And that's a big step for a couple of these other teams. Astros, man, they're still the Astros, 3-1. They open things up. This is just going to be something I think you continue to see out of this squad until somebody can finally put an end to their reign of terror, because have we seen anybody that's really been able to stick it to the Astros in the regular season time and time again and keep them down? Not really. This seems to be a team that is always up. They're always moving forward. And right now, the AL West isn't at a high point. With the question mark surrounding Oakland, can the Angels put this super team together? Really, they should be a super team with the amount of guys you have on this Angel squad that we consider top players in baseball. Seattle is an up and down team. They don't really have anything great. The Texas Rangers, I think, to me, are my dark horse team, but that's only because I'm not a huge fan of what this AL West has to offer. So the Astros starting out with a 3-1 victory over the Angels sets the table for what I think is going to be another Astros-dominated AL West season.
I agree with that too, and looking at teams that maybe could challenge them. Seattle lost what's his name, Seager, last year to retirement, but and they had a good year last year. But who else is really going to challenge them? Like you said, maybe it could be the Rangers. They had a good offseason. They brought in Semien and the other Seager, but this should be the Angels competing with them. Like you said, it should be, but
it's never. They never compete, and it's really sad because they have the players that compete.
They're always just right there, and they were like, if they just get one more starting pitcher, 2 more starting pitchings, and they just can't. And like you said, it's the Astros lose Correa, and they're still probably going to win this division. That's just how loaded they've been and how deep they are. And I kept talking about it in the playoffs last year on the run that they had. Even though they lost the World Series, like you said, Alek, all you want about the cheating stuff, they're still a good baseball team, and they're still going to be at the top of this division like we win it. So.
Yeah, even with the sign stealing, I've kind of said it to kind of back up the defense of Barry Bonds. You know what? He took the steroids. At the end of the day, you still got to put lumber on leather. And if you can't, it doesn't matter if you know the signs, if you take PEDs. At the end of the day, baseball is a simple sport, and you can't.
You know what? They were good even before the sign stealing, just like Barry Bonds. He was an MVP in Pittsburgh before he even got on steroids. So
people always say like, oh, you're hating them now because of what they did. I didn't like them before that. So
I don't like what they did to make, they had such a great season. Then they go and kind of trash it like they did. It was just ugly. And then everything that came out of it with the freaking guy and Fred Manfred saying just some piece of metal.
Yeah.
Still can't forget my rant in one of our first ever episodes back in the old radio station.
That was our first me hit of the week.
I think it was right up there, first or second, that's for sure. Final game though from yesterday was the Padres and the Diamondbacks. That one was awesome, 4-2.
Yep.
D-backs walk away with the first win of the season over the Pods. Mike, what was your reaction to that one? Because I think you were the one following that one the closest yesterday.
I really didn't follow this one, but I just saw the headline coming out of it. I told you guys this morning that was sweet because yesterday, National Beer Day, the guy walks it off. His last name is Beer. That was pretty cool.
We've got the beer, Seth Beer. There you go.
Yeah, and I didn't even hear of him, but you said you heard of his name before. I never even heard of him.
I'm not going to lie. I only know of him because I play MLB The Show, and he's in there, and he's on one of my franchises, and he's a top player. So immediately you said Seth Beer. You sent me that. I looked down at my phone. I look back up at the TV screen that I'm playing a video game on. I go, yeah, he's right there. He's the 8th man in my lineup.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, and you familiarize yourself with more players. I mean, that's why I've known a couple of younger prospects is through that game. So,
I mean, that was a pretty cool moment for the Diamondbacks, and they're probably gonna have another bad year. So that was pretty cool to start things off that way.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and move into today's action. We got the Red Sox and the Yankees already underway. Top of the fourth right now. 3-2 Red Sox on top, 2 outs and a man on first base for the Red Sox. I know they're already going through this one. We didn't get to talk about it yesterday because game 1 was canceled, so the rivalry gets to continue on here. What were you guys thinking before this one? Who was going to take this initial jump in the series and take game 1 of the series?
Boston.
Just because you hate the Yankees?
Yes. That's
I like the.
No, shut up.
I like the additions of Trevor Story, and I like it. They got back Jackie Bradley Jr. So
okay,
I like Boston. I've been there. I like them. Don't like the Yankees.
You've been to Philly. Are you a Philadelphia Flyer fan?
Must be.
No.
Matt must be a Philadelphia Flyers fan. I kicked him off the show so that we can bad talk him now. He's backstage, Matt. And coming back here, Matt, the Philadelphia Flyers fan. Wait until he visits. Wait, no, he's also been to Boston. He must love the Bruins.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Get out of here. Get out of here, Matt.
He just got exposed.
Listen.
Wow, you just got embarrassed.
I got in there.
We went to Boston. I hate that city, but I went to Fenway Park, so yeah.
I can't wait till the Cavs take on the 76ers. He's just going to be torn right down the middle.
That's the only Boston team I don't hate. What'd you just say?
I just said I'm going to love it when the Cavs take on the 76ers in the playoffs, and you're going to be torn right down the middle on who to root for. Since you were just out there in Philly, though. You were in that stadium. You saw them live, Matt Morrison.
Yeah. I just want to say, I get criticized.
We always rip into Mike for Dallas, and now we have to.
Yeah, I get criticized with Dallas stuff, and it's about time it's somebody else.
Okay. Well, we're still going to criticize you for Dallas.
You guys can wait till if Ohio State has a bad football season, then bash me this coming fall.
That ain't going to happen anytime soon.
That's what we were saying about Penn State a couple of years ago, man. They looked like they were a team that was going to sit at the top for a while.
Not with Ohio State.
Not with Ohio State, but up there. And here they are the last 2 years. But Mike, what were your thoughts going into the Boston-New York series to start things out?
Pretty evenly matched. These two teams are always evenly matched. It's a rivalry. And like Matt said, I like the additions Boston made. And, Yankees really didn't make too many additions. They just really kept the guys that got at the deadline. They re-signed Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo. But, it's like you said. They
still won't do anything.
Yeah, and it's like you said, I forget what team you were talking about, but you just said a few minutes ago. It's, Yankees can have all the power they want because they hit the small ballpark. But they're overwhelmingly left-handed. You got to even out the lineup and have some right-handed hitting, and they really didn't get that last year at the deadline. They still had Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo are 2 left-handers. So,
yeah,
Matt, they have pitching. They just don't perform.
I mean,
they brought in all the names,
like
the numbers.
Cole, like we were saying the other day, Garrett Cole's a good pitcher, but I mean, he lets up a lot of home runs. I mean, a lot. So I mean,
but to his defense,
they have the talent, but I don't know. I don't know. Just guys that go to New York just seem to be cursed or something. I don't know. They don't win World Series. It's been a decade.
I mean, to Garrett Cole's defense, what pitcher doesn't give up home runs?
Yeah, man, it's been almost 80
years. He gives up a lot of home runs, though.
I mean, that wild card game last year pretty much showed that. He's been plugged by his whole career. I know that.
Yeah. He was you know that he was a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Trouble wild card. Yankees tied at 3-3, bottom of the fourth. So reset it. Who's gonna win the last six innings here? Matt's gone. Matt obviously goes Boston. Mike, what do you think?
I can't stand the Yankees either, but
I'll end in a tie.
But it's again. I said it yesterday. I wasn't on the show, but I told you guys every team should win their home opener. So.
Oh, you got Uvalde.
Yeah, they're out there in the
pod, He's not the best.
I don't know. I'll give mine to the Yankees as well.
I don't like them, but I'm just, I'll stick by my.
I don't dislike the Yankees. I hate when Cleveland players go to the Yankees, though.
Everybody's players go to the
Yankees. All right, Kluber, but Kluber was at the end. Is he still there?
You mean CeCe?
No, Kluber's in Tampa.
CeCe was the big one, but was Kluber still there?
He's in Tampa, I think.
Okay, good. But I really like Gio Urshela too.
Matt, how weird was it last night? Every time they said Carlos Santana and he was on Kansas City. I know he was there last year too, but I still just think it's weird because I was listening to the radio broadcast and I forgot at first, and they went and they throw it down to Carlos Santana at first, and I went, "What?"
Yeah, it was weird.
So weird to me.
Hey Matt, Urshela's with the Twins now. I just looked it up.
Oh yeah, he was Yankees though.
I thought he got
gone, but I was just upset when that happened. But,
other game on right now is the White Sox. They currently lead 3-0 over the Detroit Tigers. To me, guys, the White Sox, they're going to be a good team. They put in the money this year. They were first place in the AL Central last year. I think they're going to be right back up there again this season.
Giolito on the mound too. Oof.
Yeah, I agree with you too, Alek.
I think they're going to take this series. The Detroit is a fine team. I mean, they're not the best. They're not the worst.
They get some good pickups.
They're not Chicago. I mean, they finished third last year in the AL Central, but keep in mind how tight that AL Central race was last season as well. So I'm not going to fly too high right now on the Tigers going into it. I am going to fly high on the White Sox, though. I think they got a very talented squad out there, and I do like that they were the one team in the AL Central that went, you know what? This is our time to shine. No one is spending money. Everyone is claiming to be kind of near a rebuild mode. Let's go for it. Let's go all out. Let's take this thing. We got an easy spot to get into a guaranteed divisional spot in the ALDS. Let's go for that. And I love that they put the pedal down. They spent the money and they got there. And you saw the results of that last season. And you're already seeing it here in the first game, up 3-0 in just 3 innings.
Well, I agree with you. I know it's only day 2 of the season, but they're going to repeat in this division. And I think it's going to be them and the Twins battling it out. I think the Tigers had a good offseason, but they'll probably
finish the Guardians, Mike.
They'll finish 3rd or 4th. The Guardians are 3rd or 4th team. I'm sorry, they are.
With how tight it was last year, I don't know. I think if they can stay healthy, I think they got a better spot for 2nd. I do like the Twins, though.
And again, this is a fair point. And you guys both know, as being fans of them, they need to start hitting it if they want to start.
They still can't.
That's been the story ever since we were in the last World Series. After that World Series, we
haven't done anything hitting wise.
We have great pitching all the time outside of Brian Shaw, and then we can't hit the baseball. It's always been a problem here in Cleveland these last 5 years. You know what I don't like? We bring him back.
He's been there like 5 times.
Right. We brought it back, but the last time we brought it back, he was out in Colorado. His ERA was 18, and we re-signed him here.
Yeah, dude. You let him go to Colorado, where every pitcher has an ERA of like 8, and then you bring him back after he just goes to Colorado and he gets roughed up there. That ruins his mindset. Cleveland. You bring him back.
That's Cleveland.
Stop going to Brian Shaw, Cleveland. Damn, we need somebody new out there.
Hey, we did get a new pitcher in the Bradley Zimmer trade late last night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
And I didn't know Nick Whitgren. He's with the Cardinals now. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, man, let me pull up the trade here.
He was a good reliever.
He was all right. Who did we get?
It was the Guardians have traded Bradley Zimmer to the Blue Jays in exchange for right-handed pitcher Anthony Castro.
I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him either. But I mean, the whole thing with Zimmer, he's been hurt. He was supposed to be something special, and he got hurt, and he just didn't return to form. He never played. So
no, and with Quan coming out of the minors and making as big of an impact in day one, I think Cleveland saw Quan was ready, and they went, all right, we don't need Zimmer as a reserve guy anymore. We can send him out, let him go perform somewhere else. Because he's a guy, I think, with a high ceiling, but I don't think his ceiling is.
And I like that he's in Toronto. I like that he's going to Toronto because he
brings some size to that outfield too. I mean, you put a little bit more size in Zimmer. He's got some nice power to him. He continues to develop that swing. I think he's a nice addition to that lineup too.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and jump into some of the other games that have yet to start. So immediately following the podcast during Power Hour, the Athletics and the Phillies go off for their first game of the season. Guys, what's your thought on that one, Phillies and Athletics?
That's a pretty cool interleague matchup to start, AL and NL. But no, I mean, I know we already kind of – I don't want to sound repetitive, but I know we already kind of talked about the Phillies, Matt. I like their lineup, and it's pretty deep. A's – probably, it's probably going to be
depleted. They're depleted, but that's only more reason for me to be behind them because that 2002 team.
Matt, come on, 20 years ago.
What's
it going to do now?
Matt's rooting for Moneyball. We don't even know if they're going Moneyball this year, Matt.
They stripped it down, dude.
They don't even have Billy Bean anymore.
Exactly. You're not going that way.
They won't go.
No, I'm gonna jump on Phillies here to start now. I like the Athletics, but personally, I don't really think much coming into this game. Two pretty new pitchers though from either squad. These teams really haven't ever faced each other a whole lot, at least, and not with these pitchers either. There's nobody that has double-digit at bats against the opposing pitcher, and for Philadelphia versus Frankie Montas on the mound, only two guys have at bats against them, and they each only have one. That's Didi Gregorius. He's one at bat, nothing came of it. And John Segura, one at bat, nothing came of it. So there's nothing for Frankie Montas up on the mound. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And then on the other side, the Oakland batters, only Mitch Moreland has any real at bats against Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies. He has 9 of them, and he bats 111. So I know he hit 1 of them. So I don't think there's anything major coming into this one. But I think you look at this face value, Philly's got the lineup.
Well, you know what, Alek? I kind of want to see Aaron Nola. Just looking at the 2021 stats, I want to see him have a bounce back year because when he's on, he's one of the better pitchers in the league. Last year he was 99 with an ERA close to 5. That's not Aaron Nola. So he's got to change that around.
But that's why he was gifted this first start. Hey man, we're trusting you. This is Oakland. Go out there, early. Start out the season, let up 1, maybe 2 runs. Let's go home and win this thing.
Yeah, and he's their guy, so he's got to step up his stats. And on the other side with Frankie Montas, he had a good year last year. He actually last year was probably his best year. He had a 13-9 record with an ERA of 3, so that's pretty good. And he's probably going to be the guy this year after all the guys they got rid of. So he's starting. They're thinking the same thing. Let's throw our best guy out there. He had a good year last year, so let's try to start things off right. Everybody wants to start things off right.
Right, definitely.
I like the young prospects the A's have. Sorry, I'm kind of switching the subject. I mean, they have Christian Pache. I think that's how you say it. He was like a number 1 prospect for the Braves, and they ended up picking him up. So they have some young talent that they probably can build on. So maybe that's what they just wanted to do: refresh and get a bunch of good top prospects, and they're just to develop. So
if you wanted to, we keep talking about this is definitely the advantage of the Phillies in terms of lineup because. Oakland, all the guys got rid of, their lineup's still not terrible, but it's not compared to Phillies. It's like
no Chapman, no Olsen. Like that was the heart and soul. That was like those 2 players were like DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry in Toronto, and you split them up. They split them up too, but like,
and they're both still performing pretty darn well.
Yeah.
They're both in the playoffs this year, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Bulls and Heat and Bulls.
Yeah, the playoff field is actually set already in the NBA. Yeah. They wrap up this week. Sunday, I believe, is the final day of the regular season, and then Tuesday starts the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So we're here. NBA playoffs. We'll be talking about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll talk a little NBA playoffs, and we'll get things started.
Brooklyn what tonight?
I think it's the Bucks tonight.
Oh, okay. I forget.
At least I saw.
But we got to.
Yeah, it's the Bucks tonight. Actually, Matt, it's the Bucks. Wait, that's a part.
No, Nets are tonight. Sunday. Bucks are Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the. I was looking at the end of the regular season. That's why I saw that.
So Brooklyn tonight, then.
Yeah. We got to win one of these two games, man.
Brooklyn's right underneath of us. They're right under us.
We need this one. Is the real one.
Yeah.
But guys, let's take a quick step aside from baseball here and head over to NASCAR. Martinsville coming up here this weekend. Should be a slow one. You know, I'd say a fun one, but Martinsville can only be so much fun. It's a long race. It's not really a fast race either. It's kind of one of the duds of the season to me.
Yeah, Martinsville. It's a tiring race. It's gonna be. I mean, usually when I get home from work, it's like 40 laps left. I bet you there'll still be a lot of this race going on if they start at the same time. But like, it's a long race, and it's just. I think this is where one of the veterans are going to come out and take this win.
Yeah, when you get kind of there's two things that happen with this race, and it kind of happens with all the races. But you get those veterans that can take over. But then you always have to account for chaos, and that's where the young guys come in, and that's where they can steal those wins away. When you go 400 laps, this is a 7:30 start time for this race on Saturday. So, you know, it's not the Sunday race; it's a Saturday one. So you got to account for chaos because anytime they go off your regular schedule, you kind of get that mixture of oh my god, what could happen? And I think that's a very fun part of racing, at least in my book. So let's go ahead here and look at who your favorites are to win this race. Personally, Martin Truex has won the last two. His name is in Martinsville. He's my number one guy to see win this race. I know we keep counting on him to find a way to win. I picked him last week. He didn't get it. I think that spell's got to break sooner rather than later. I think Truex finds his first win here.
Denny Hamlin won it last week, right?
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how much of a disappointment he was, and he finally won one.
Right.
So
that's wrong, right? He must have been listening.
Maybe. Mike, you go ahead first.
Who else can we inspire? Let's get Greg. No, screw him. Get BJ McLeod up there. He sucks. He's never gonna win. He's not good. I'm picking number 78, McLeod. Okay. He's currently 33rd in the standings. He's led 2 laps this year, Matt. Come on, know your NASCAR.
What are his odds?
You have to pay them. That's not fair.
I'm trying to see it.
McLeod.
This one doesn't have like them listed in numbers. It just has a name.
He is currently last place 5,000 to 1. You know what?
Why not?
Taking it. One of my 3 picks today, I'm going wild card. Give me BJ McLeod.
Yeah, that's definitely a wild card.
Okay.
Yeah. For all this, I do tend to.
You know what? I'll go one better.
You'll go better?
Oh, here goes a copycat.
Give me Greg Biffle, man. Give me the Biff. He's lower.
No, he's not, dude. I'm looking at the CBS odds.
Well, there's
nobody lower than him.
Well, the standings at least.
Standings, Greg Biffle's a little bit lower.
I'll go Greg Biffle. Give me Greg Biffle. Cool.
Matt, he's not racing this weekend.
Yeah, he's not in here.
No, I was just looking at it. I don't think he made qualifying.
Oh, whoops. I'll go up here then.
Yeah, he's only been in 4 of the races so far.
Oh, okay. All right. What's
BJ McLeod looks like the lowest of the full-time drivers, so I took BJ McLeod. I got Martin Truex Jr. as kind of my lock. He seems like a guy that definitely could win it. And with Denny Hamlin winning last week, I think I might set the table for a couple of Toyota wins here in the middle, middle start of the season. So he's my second. And then I'll go Christopher Bell on my other pick. He's just a strong driver, and I'm kind of waiting for him to kind of cement himself this season. He's already got 111 laps led, 3 top 10s, 1 top 5. I think he could find a way to break here. I don't know why. I kind of like the Toyotas this week. So my 3 are going to be Truex, McLeod, and Christopher Bell. Give me that 5,001. I'm about to go make bank in Vegas.
You are.
Christopher Bell's a very solid driver. I've seen him race dirt car racing a lot, but hopefully that can pick up on the NASCAR track here very soon. He's very talented. But I'll go Tyler Reddick. Okay. I'm going to go Daniel Suarez too. Sneak him in there. I'm looking at the playoff cutoff, and he's right there at the line. And I'll go Kevin Harvick again.
I'm gonna do mine a little weird today. I'm not gonna try to think.
Matt, what were yours? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, and Kevin Harvick.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna pick which car they're driving it and stuff. I'm just gonna pick one big favorite, middle of the road guy, and a guy that has terrible odds like you just did, Alek. So
do that.
I'm gonna pick Truex's favorite. I'm gonna pick who's my middle of the road guy? I'm gonna pick Bubba Wallace as my middle of the road guy.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pick. Let me get to the bottom
Joey
here.
Hand.
No, I'll pick Michael McDowell as my long shot.
Okay.
I don't mind McDowell. I think that's a solid pick.
Well, I mean, odds wise, it's a long shot.
Yeah.
But that's how I did it this week.
All right. Yeah, I don't mind those. It's kind of fun going a little wild card.
Let's
get back over to baseball here and finish out the show with nothing but baseball. Next game up after the Phillies. What?
You want to check in for the Masters and one quick update?
Oh, yeah, Matt, you got it pulled up?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
So right now, the main thing everybody's wondering is, where is Tiger Woods? Currently, he is tied. Where the heck is it? Looks like I just saw it. He was 11th yesterday. He dropped a little bit, but some other familiar names. I mean, you got Jason Kokrak, who actually went to Warren JFK, is tied for 16th. I like that. Tiger Woods is tied. Oh, he dropped. He was just 16th.
He's 26th.
He's 26 now. Literally 3 minutes ago, he was 16th. But it's all right. Tiger Woods is still in there. Notable names that are probably not going to make it. You've got, I did see Justin Rose. Justin Rose probably won't make it. Paul Casey's another big guy that probably won't make it. Fred Couples, the old guy out there still golfing, he probably won't make it. But a couple of those guys, even Bryson DeChambeau, like he's a big one of the
what happened to him?
Bigger names, he probably won't make the cut. So Francisco Molinari as well. So I don't know. We got a lot of names.
What happened to DeChambeau? He fell off.
I have no idea. Jordan Spieth is still in there for the cut. Billy Horschel, Justin Thomas is still in there. Brooks Koepka, who made a huge jump from yesterday. He jumped 22 spots. Brooks Koepka did. So Patrick Reed is still in there. Bubba Watson, two defending Masters champion or two Masters championships under their belts, not defending. But hopefully Tiger can bounce up. He was tied for 11th yesterday, so we'll see what happens.
Just hang around there.
Let's hang around. We still got 2 more days, so tomorrow's where stuff will start get interesting.
Yeah, guys are going to separate themselves tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm really thinking about putting down a $10 bet on BJ McLeod.
Well, go ahead.
The payout, man, $10,000.
Dude, do it. You lose $10. At least you tried. I would do it.
I might have to.
Do it, Alek.
Do it.
I'm not going to do it right now. Too much stuff to enter in.
Oh, I know that. Yeah,
we're in the middle of the show. I might do it. Next game, though, let's head back over to MLB. We got the Orioles taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. This one's easy. Tampa Bay Rays are going to steamroll the Orioles. Orioles, outside of a couple of teams, were the worst in baseball last year. They're going to be in the AL East this year. They're going to have to find ways to win these games when they're not going to be taking on win some of these games taking on their in-division opponents, but they're going to have to rely on bottom feeders of the other conferences in divisions to find ways to win, because I don't think they're going to get many over these top 4 teams. This is still the most difficult division in baseball to kind of cement yourself as a winner. I still think, though, the NL West is the hardest to win because of how high the win totals were last year, But considering all top 4 of these teams in the AL East were all winning last year, I think it makes it one of the hardest ones to actually go through and find a way to put yourself at that top of the division end of the year, because you can't get yourself into a place where you can take a couple games off if you're in first place and allow your starters to rest. You got to go full sprint ahead all season long, and the Orioles are just flat out not a team that has that in their repertoire. They can find a way to steal a game, they can steal a series, but I don't have a lot of faith in what this entire team has. And you look at the matchups today, the Baltimore batters, none of them do really fantastic on the mound against Shane McClanahan for the Tampa Bay Rays. And on the other side, you got some solid hits going on for the Tampa Bay batters against the Orioles pitcher for the day, and John Means. Left-hander on left-hander action, actually, as well.
Well, you know what? Before you just that's what I was going to say. That's probably one of the good things going on when you're looking at this matchup before it starts is probably the pitching.
Yeah,
the matchup, because, I mean, like you said, lineup-wise, it's all towards Tampa, but it's actually a pretty underrated pitching matchup. John Means had a 3.62 ERA last year with a 6.9 record, which isn't great. And then Shane McClanahan had almost the same identical ERA with 3.43. So it's pretty good pitching matchup. It's probably one of the most underrated ones to start the year off. But that's probably the best storyline coming in this game before it starts.
I mean, I would definitely agree to that one on there. Matt, what are your thoughts here, Tampa Bay and Baltimore?
I mean, it's Baltimore.
Yeah, okay. Next game, I like this team, but they never do anything. We got the Dodgers taking on the Rockies. Rockies, I don't know. They're a team that I feel like could surprise you, but I don't think they're going to.
I think they're probably another year or two away until they start bringing some guys up. And, I mean, they just showed that they could spend free agency. They just brought in Chris Bryant. And, I mean, they lost Trevor Story, but they brought in some guys. But it's so hard to get pitching in Colorado. I watched Chris Russo on MLB Network. He was talking to the Rockies GM. He's like, we know, and this is their GM saying this. He's like, we know how hard it is to get pitching because this is the hardest place to pitch in baseball. And they have a good guy going today in Kyle Freeland. He's been there a couple years. He's probably is their ace. I mean, he's starting their home opener on opening day. But other than that, I mean, it's not terrible. They have other decent guys, but it's not like they have shutout guys that are going to, that's what you're saying, Alek, is that's why they really don't do anything, because they don't really have.
You're almost guaranteed a third or fourth place, especially if the Giants repeat the season last year. The Dodgers are always going to be first or second here in the NL West as long as they're spending their money. San Diego's looking like they're putting together a good team. It's only a matter of time for them. And with the Arizona's first win, I mean, if they keep things up, they're going to make it a race there at least the bottom half of the NL West. You're going to be fighting for potentially that third spot of the second wild card spot that went to St. Louis last year, because there was a big portion of the year the NL West was having 3 teams in potentially like much like the AL East did. There was a portion of time until the Padres kind of fell off the face of the earth in that final month and a half, I think it was. They tanked down to the bottom of the 3 major teams in the NL West. So it's such a hard place for San Diego to be in right now. I almost like them, though, to steal this first win. I know this Dodgers team is really, really, really great, and they just bring in Freddie Freeman. Maybe the one thing I can hope, we know there were some issues butting heads out there in Atlanta with Freddie Freeman. Maybe a couple more heads get bumped into here to start out the season. If they go into a slump to start, I wouldn't be surprised to see some trades going real quick in this team if there are some butting heads. With how great they were last year, I don't think there's any time to kind of, fart around this season. They got to put their lineup together, solidify it, and then go full speed ahead, because we know what they should be. And if they don't live up to that, Dodgers Nation is going to be losing a lot of fans rapidly. This is a very heavy bandwagon fan base, and that's no, shout out against the team. It's just because of where they are. And if this team doesn't perform immediately, they know their numbers dwindle. They don't make as much. This is a team that relies on their crowd to, help bring them in some money too. So the TV deals are only going to do so much. They want people supporting this team. So they got to make sure that they're going to be one of those top teams again this year. Coming off, a couple seasons ago, winning that MLB championship, you got to find a way to get back there, especially if you're in a major market like LA, or else you're going to become the laughing stock like New York has over on the East Coast, because they put together fantastic lineups. And as Matt, keeps saying, they haven't won in a decade. So LA doesn't want to get there. Obviously, coming off one a little bit ago, they got their fresh chance to kind of put something together and make that run here in the next 3 years. But they put together some solid lineups. There's no farting around. They got to get back there now.
Well, Matt, go ahead, man.
Let's talk about something here. Freddie Freeman. Yeah, it's reports coming out yesterday. I mean, I still like Freddie Freeman. I mean, he's still one of my favorite players. But yeah, I mean, button heads with Acuna Jr. But I kind of see that because that was Freddie's team for a decade. You get a new hot shot in there like Ronald Jr. And he's like, oh, this is going to be my team, which ultimately it is now because, Freeman's gone. But at first, like, I wouldn't want this guy coming in and be like, hey, this is still my team. What? I'd be button heads too.
Well, how about this? As you just said, that was his team for nearly 2 decades. He doesn't know how to be number 2. And now he's going on to a squad where he's not even number 2. He might be number 4, 5, 6.
You throw him in a lineup that has Mookie Betts. I mean, even with the pitchers.
You want me to read down what the starting lineup for today is? They're going Mookie
go ahead.
Betts,
I was just going to do that.
Second. Trey Turner is batting 3rd. Justin Turner at 4th. Max Muncy in 5th. Will Smith in 6th. Chris Taylor at 7. Cody Bellinger at 8. And Gavin Lux at 9. This is a loaded lineup for the Dodgers right now. So can Freddie Freeman deal with not being the guy of a franchise? Because you saw a little bit of chaos. I mean, they still won because I think he had a chip on his shoulder that just went, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm still going to win it. Yeah. And they put together a damn good team behind him as well. So.
And they didn't have Ronald Jr. I mean, he was hurt. Acuna was hurt the whole year, so maybe that solidified some stuff. But
right, I think maybe this is the biggest question mark in the history of Freddie Freeman's career. Can he be somebody other than one?
Yeah. If you put too many superstars on the same team, it's just not going to work. I mean, look at the Lakers. They should have won every game this year.
Not every game.
Well, I mean, most of them.
They should have at least been a lot closer in all those games than they lost by.
I'll just put it this way. It's pretty sad that a Memphis Grizzlies team has some good players, and they're still great without John Morant when they don't have them. It's pretty sad that a team like that puts together a massive winning season, and they don't have any future. I mean, John Morant's probably going to be a future Hall of Famers, but it's not set in stone right now. Russell Westbrook is a guaranteed Hall of Famer. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. And they can't do anything. What's that?
Carmelo's probably a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Do you have all these like NBA stars, like they're stars. They've been stars for a while. They're veterans. And they only won how many games? I don't even
30
games. That's just sad.
Well, we got to keep moving here in baseball. There's still a lot of games to get to. I like the Rockies actually to steal game 1 against the Dodgers. I think there's going to be a shuffle at first for the Dodgers to figure it out.
Give me the home team. You guys know my theory on this.
Have all the home teams won?
Well, it is the MLB TV free game of the day, so everybody gets to watch it. So go ahead and I think you can at least. I don't really know how that works, but they say it's the free game.
Yeah, I think they show them on YouTube, and it's like MLB Network broadcasts it. So.
Fair enough. This game was canceled yesterday, so it would technically be game 2 of the series, but it will be game 1 as a result. We got the Twins and the Seattle Mariners. Robbie Ray on the round for the team out west. Joe Ryan for the Northerners of Minnesota. What are your guys' thoughts going in here? Got to go quick on it as well.
It's pretty interesting choice there for the Twins to start off, but pitching-wise, I really don't know.
It looked like he's at least been there last year because there's some matchups for some of the Mariners hitters. Not many, but it looks like maybe he pitched once.
I'm going Mariners.
Robbie Ray doesn't have any pitches thrown against any batter currently. Oh, wait, no. I guess Joe Ryan's the young guy. Never mind. Hold on. I read that backwards. So he must be a rookie.
Maybe. Let's see here. I'm going to go Mariners.
He's 25 years old. No, he played last season. He played in 5 games. 2-1 ERA of 4.05, 30 strikeouts, and a WHIP of .79.
Okay. I'm still staying with
that. I'm taking Minnesota. I mean, they brought in Carlos Correa, Gio Urshela. I don't know. I like it.
I do too.
I'll go Twins.
They still have Max Kepler too, and man, I can't stand Max Kepler.
Miguel Sano. I like
Miguel Sano. Oh, yeah, I love Miguel Sano is a heck of a player. You can't hate Miguel Sano. You just can't.
Next one up here is we're closing in our final 10 minutes of the week. We got the Marlins at the Giants. On the mound for Miami will be Sandy Alcantara. Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants. guys, I like San Francisco. I can't say anything bad about them. I like the jerseys. I like the look. I like the team. I like the stadium.
Yastrzemski.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they got a solid group of guys, and after last season, it's hard to hate on this team. So they kind of made their Cinderella run last year. I think they got an easy shot to repeat.
Me too.
I mean, not an easy. They still got the Dodgers and the Padres, and you never know what can happen with the Rockies here. But I think they got as good a shot as anybody coming out of here in the NL West.
Yeah, and I like the guy that got on the hill today too.
Marlins team now. I like the talent. I like Joey Wendell. They just picked up World Series MVP Jorge Soler as well. And I mean, I like Jesus Aguilar as well. So they have some players.
Yeah, his best days are behind them.
They have your former catcher, Mike Stallings. I mean, he's a heck of a player too. So
top 10 catcher in the league, easy.
Yeah, that's probably why Pittsburgh couldn't hang on to him.
No, because he's getting old and they're rebuilding.
Oh,
that's why
they rebuilt with Roberto Perez.
Matt, it's just a bridge guy. You know how things work. Come on.
All right, guys. Next game here, Matson Nationals. One of our games from yesterday. They got game 2 of the series. Looks like the Cleveland-Kansas City match. It might be the only one that's not playing today for game 2 of the series. But Mets Nationals game 2. I like what the Mets did yesterday. I mean, they had a strong pitching performance. My only thing is, can you repeat that strong pitching performance today? They're putting Max Scherzer on the mound, so I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go Mets for game 2 on it.
Yeah, I'm going Mets too. Yeah, this isn't the first game
pitching for the Nationals will be Josiah Gray as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'll go Mets. With Scherzer on the mound, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting your ace out there for game 2. I don't think they were planning on winning game 1. I mean, they went out there kind of threw more of a wild card to start, and bringing the Scherzer game 2, I like it. So,
yeah.
Next game we got Rangers Blue Jays starting their season off.
Blue Jays.
I called the Rangers my dark horse, so I'm going to say game 1 upset. I'm taking the Rangers.
I'm staying with the home team, like I keep saying. And Blue Jays is their home opener, and they got Barrios on the mound. He's pretty good.
Barrios from Minnesota.
Yeah, and they got on the other side of it, Rangers got John Gray starting.
Pretty good one going.
Yeah, should be interesting. But next game, here's the page loads. Reds Braves game 2. I think it's going to be hard for back-to-back games for the Reds. They're going to have Sam Martin on the mound. Charlie Morton's pitching for the Braves, so I'm going to go with Charlie Morton to take the dub in this one.
Oh yeah,
they got if they can hit. I mean, that's the big thing. They couldn't hit yesterday.
Yeah, they're going to get back on track.
Outside of Austin Riley, he put up a home run and 2 RBIs.
Did the Reds make the playoffs last year?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so just keep in mind.
Last year they were right out of it though, behind St. Louis. They were 7 games back from the wild card.
Okay, but just keep in mind a little bit. I mean, the Braves did play a longer season than the Reds, and they had still shorter spring training. So add a short spring training with the team that just won a World Series. I mean, that's that's not a lot of time. So
I mean, you kind of always see in the beginning of the NBA season these, kind of before the end of LeBron's career, but those first 2 games of the season, it was that feeling up process to start things off. Am I going to be able to go full speed right away, or am I going to be kind of on a limited? I'll say limited minutes. Obviously, you don't have limited minutes in baseball, but I'm not going 110% like I would halfway through the season, midway down. And we've actually had our first postponement of the day. Cubs Brewers game 2 is now off the books. Yeah. They're not playing that one today. After that, we got Astros and the Angels game 2. Jake Odorizzi up on the mound for Houston.
Another former
Detmers on the mound for the Angels.
Another former Twin, man. What happened to their pitchers?
They got better ones.
Got rid of them.
I guess.
I'm going to go Astros on the game 2. Angels didn't surprise me too much yesterday, and I think this Astros team's got what it takes.
Give me the Angels.
Give me the Angels.
All right, let's see if they'll be in the outfield today at all. Padres Diamondbacks game 2. Sean Manaea on the mound for San Diego. Merrill Kelly on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'll say back-to-back for the Diamondbacks here to open it up. I like it.
Merrill Kelly's not a bad guy either. He was there last year.
I see the Diamondbacks. They don't always start the worst. They do tend to start pretty decent, and then they'll even out. But I think you see some of the bottom teams steal some wins early in the year. I think that's what's going to happen with the Diamondbacks before the numbers even out.
Matt, you're going Diamondbacks?
I'll go Diamondbacks.
I'll go Padres. They got Manaea on the hill. They just got him in the trade, so he's going to try to show off why they got him. So I'll go Padres.
Well, I think I know the answer to this one, but we're going out of baseball. Everybody's highlight of the week. Mike, let's start out with you.
You guys know what mine is. Come on. Opening day was yesterday. Baseball's back.
Yeah, I had a feeling that
Mine's
was going to be
opening day too.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be what the result of that question was. For me,
oh crap,
I don't want to go opening day because you both did that. So let's go. Man, there wasn't a whole lot of sports that happened.
Just do it. You're taking too long. Just do it.
No, I'll go. I saw a crap ton of hits so far this week in high school baseball, so I'll go over that way. I saw a game that was 16 runs in the first inning by one team, so that was insane to see. Dang. So I'll go that one for crazy baseball. But let's hand this over to
baseball track.
Yeah, keeping it baseball. Not much else went out outside of it. So let's go over to Matt Morrison for this week's Meat of the Week.
All right. So first of all, I'm point out there, if you Google the Kansas Jayhawks, like confetti or fireworks on Google will shoot up because they just won the championship. Yeah. So I just found that interesting. But the meathead of the week is a guy, I think his last name's Emmer. He quickly came in and he's like, welcome your world champions at Kansas City Jayhawks. So he totally screwed up their name. I'm like, well, this dude's Mark Emmer.
They're not even in the same state.
Yeah,
Kansas City's in Missouri.
I know. So the guy comes in. I think he's a guy with them too. I think he's a guy within the organization. Like, you don't know.
This guy must have failed geography class.
Yeah, I guess so. He's the current president of the NCAA. So the current president of the NCAA doesn't know the names.
Geography.
He doesn't know. So that's
Mike, part of Kansas City is in Kansas though, so.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, but it's mainly Kansas City's mainly Missouri.
Yeah. It's Kansas City,
Missouri. Kansas is its own state.
Just like Cincinnati is in Kentucky.
It's not. There's a river in between them.
Yeah.
I know. I just like saying that. But, I mean, that's me of the week. Like, come on, man. You had one job. You just had to say the name of the winning team, and you screwed it up. Oh, man.
There you go.
That will do it here for another week of the Casual Sports Podcast. It has been a pleasure to go once again here, as this will, let me see, how many weeks down are we on this already? This is wrapping up week 30 of the Casual Sports Podcast on YSNlive.com. We are deep into the mud at this point. There's no going back, guys.
No way.
But that will do it here for the week. If anybody watching wants to help out with this week's YSN Power Rankings, go over to my Twitter page at Alek Koberna. Let me know who you think is the most deserving team to get in. I got a vote going into the Power Rankings this year for baseball and softball. Let me know your team. Give me your reason why, and I'll see if I can fit them into my Power Rankings if I agree. But that's going to do it here. Power Hour coming up next on YSNlive.com. Thank you all for tuning into week 30. We'll see you all next week.